What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour on 990 WBOB, the number one radio program for all things Bryant athletics. I'm your host, Brian Kostiw, reporting to you remotely. I'm joined alongside, as always, by Matthew Carvalho in our Sprout co-working studios. Matt, how you doing this evening?
Well, Brian, what month is it?
It's March, baby. It is
That's
the
how
best.
I'm doing.
It's the best time of the year if you're a college basketball fan. We love to see it, and we're gonna have a ton to talk about with that tonight. So coming up in our first segment, we're gonna have on Bryant head men's basketball coach Jamion Christian to preview the big dance, all the things going on with the NCAA tournament, and also talk about his team's first offseason with him as the head coach in Smithfield. Obviously, he was part of that transition coming over from Italy and was crazy. So we'll get a chance to talk about what this first full offseason in Smithfield is going to look like. We'll also talk with reigning America East Defensive Player of the Year, Kaelynn O'Brien from the women's lacrosse program. And then we'll cap things off with Aidan Vining of the Bryant baseball team, who is also the active leader in strikeouts in all of college baseball. So listen, we got a great show in store for all of you guys tonight. It's going to be a great time, so I'm really looking forward to it. But Matt, you kind of said it right off the top of the bat that, it's March. It's, the prime time for March Madness, NCAA basketball, both the men's and women's side. And it's a great time of year. I mean, we saw it last year with the Bryant men's team getting a chance to go to the big dance, play Michigan State in that opening round of the tournament, and have some viral moments there. Whether it was Earl Timberlake getting cut on the head and getting put everywhere on SportsCenter, or just all the different great moments that came from that time. And it was a great moment, whether it was in 2025 or even the 22 team. Getting a chance to go to the big dance is an incredible honor and an incredible thing. And we obviously hope that Bryant gets back there in the future. UMBC took the title this year in the America East, but it was a great competitive year, and really looking forward to what's going to happen next in the world of Bryant basketball. We got some news earlier this week on what that future is going to look like. We learned that Keegan Harvey and America East all-rookie team selection Ty Tabalis are going to be returning to Smithfield for another season under Coach Christian. So we're looking forward to having them back on the team this year. I know that Keegan Harvey was someone who, was a transfer in from GW, kind of started off a little bit slower within the year, but he kind of admitted that he needed to get into basketball shape just because he hadn't played a lot at GW and, wasn't maybe being utilized the way he could have been, and really shined down the second half of the conference slate. Was unbelievable for this team. And I think with a full offseason under his belt with Coach Christian and getting the most out of him for his final year of eligibility, we're going to see a very special player. And then with Ty Tabalis, I mean, similar situation, but on the opposite end of the spectrum. He was supposed to be in prep school this year, learning the point guard position and kind of learning everything that comes with that. Instead, he comes out to Bryant. Coach Christian instills that in him as a true freshman and lets him really, develop over the course of the season. And, there were bumps in the road with it, but I think towards the end of the season, we really started to see the promise of what he can be as a young player in this league. So, Matt, I'll let you give some thoughts, but really excited by these two moves.
Yeah, no, I think it's certainly great moves for the foundation of this team going forward. When you get into the transfer portal and everything of that nature, getting guys like that back is essential to start it off on the right foot. And then from there to see where they're going to make moves, who they're going to bring in. But at least now you're bringing back a core foundation of this team, which is essential moving forward.
Absolutely. And I think especially, the portal hasn't even opened yet. And knowing that you have guys officially that will be back with your program next year, it really means a lot. And I think that, for Coach Christian, a lot of it was going to be kind of seeing, who does he retain after this first year, bringing a team like this together in Smithfield, and seeing that, these are going to be some real guys that we get a chance to build around for another season is really intriguing and exciting to me. So can't wait to talk about that. I mean, obviously, we'll talk with Coach Christian about his March Madness experience at the Mount, going there 2 times. So just kind of everything that kind of came with that, maybe kind of some advice that he would give to some teams kind of in this position for the first time. So we'll kind of have to see how that all pans out. But Matt, it's, again, a great time of the year on both, men's and women's basketball, getting to see, all the greatness that can come from that. But then, as we look ahead, like we said, with Kaelynn coming up, women's lacrosse is in full swing for Bryant right now. They're having another strong season. They got their first conference win of the year, defeating Vermont 8-7 to start conference play. So a a great sign for them in that, they were the number 1 seed in the league last year, getting a chance to host the conference tournament at Burns Stadium. They ultimately fell in the final to UAlbany, but an incredible team there, and I think they're going to be in just as good, if not better shape this season. So really exciting there. And then, like we said in our final segment with Aidan Vining, Bryant baseball got the series win over Binghamton, who knocked them out in the championship game last year. So it seems that they're more poised and ready to come at this thing than ever before. So it's going to be a fun spring. Obviously, the end of once March Madness kind of dies down, that's kind of the end of winter sports and all that. So, we'll enjoy that as it happens, but there's a ton of great stuff coming up in the spring in Smithfield as well. So really looking forward to all of that. But Matt, just, I guess, any thoughts of your own, just kind of about, this time of year with it being March, all that stuff. I'll kind of give you the floor for a little bit.
Well, Brian, with it being March, that this is, for especially college basketball fans, this is the madness. This is the time where everyone's crazy. And look, for me, I'm going to sleep in May. That's what I'm going to do. We're just nonstop when it comes to college basketball, especially here on these airwaves. Everything college hoops is what we're going through right now. But before you know it, it's going to be full on spring sports. I mean, we're already kind of entering that point, but I feel like once, like you said, when March Madness dies down, that's when all the eyes are on spring sports and things of that nature, baseball coming back and having fun with that. So, excited for that part. I'm going to be a bit sad when college basketball is over, but it's okay. It's going to be November tomorrow.
I mean, I will say this, the consolation prize of, when that all does end in, early April is that, it's going to be a little bit warmer outside. There's going to be, the sunsets are going to be even later. It's going to be longer days. So it's usually a good sign that summer's on the way. So, there's a give and take there. Obviously you want the madness, you want it to continue for as long as possible, but you have to enjoy it for what it's worth. So, I mean, listen, it's going to be a crazy sprint for these teams over the next, call it 2.5 weeks once this all starts up, but it's one of the best times of the year if you're a sports fan for a reason. So really looking forward to all that. But Matt, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we're back, Coach Jamion Christian of the Bryant men's basketball team will be joining us. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to 990 WBOB. Welcome back to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour on 990 WBOB. Kostiw and Carvalho with you here on Monday night. Before we get into our next guest of the evening, we just want to tell you to join the WBOB team. I want to tell you that tonight's broadcasts are brought to you by Sprout Co-working. For all your co-working needs, large meetings, office for a day, working remotely, or just trying to get away from the distractions at home, Sprout Co-working in Providence, Rhode Island is the place for you. The official co-working home of 990 WBOB. Now joining us on the Sprout Co-working Expert Hotline is head men's basketball coach Jamion Christian. Coach, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm good today.
Absolutely. Coach, glad to have you here. Obviously, first season in Smithfield is in the books. Glad to have you back here as we kind of prepare for, the off season, everything along those lines. I'll kind of just get your opening thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think number one, I thought it was a pretty tough season overall. I thought we had some really good highlights, some moments where we could have turned the season around and really got it going, but just disappointed overall. I think the good thing is we got a lot of young guys with a lot of experience. If we can able to handle this offseason the right way, you need 3 top 15 players in order to have a chance to win a championship in this league. Certainly with 2 guys who are all rookie, the way Keegan Harvey was able to finish, the way Ashley Sims is really played her points of the year. And, with our ability to get into the portal a little bit, I certainly feel good about what we have here in terms of being able to get to 3 of the top 15. And I would expect for us to be there next year.
Absolutely. We obviously learned that Keegan and Ty Tabalis have already, made verbal commitments and announced that they'll be back with this program in 26, 27. Just talk about how special it is to be able to get the chance to coach those guys for another season in Smithfield.
Oh, we're so excited about it. I mean, you think about Keegan Harvey, he's exactly the type of person and leader that you want to have. The first guy to commit to us when we got here, able to put together a really special conference season and really show the world kind of what we always thought he could be. So I'm excited for him, a chance to have a good big man like that. And it really, against Vermont, against Gus, really outplayed him in that game, and that's huge. In terms of what we want to be able to get after. Ty Tabalis at times was one of the best freshmen in the league with his ability to play. And, sometimes as a point guard, you didn't even notice he was a freshman. In other moments, you noticed he was a freshman. So excited for him to really show his progression. I thought he showed outstanding toughness this season. because he was hurt for probably 6 or 7 weeks there and really fought through it before we had to shut him down. So just a lot of respect for his toughness. Excited for him to really showcase all that he can be, as we get a chance to kind of build a team around those two guys a little bit. And again, enthused that those guys are coming back. I think they're two of the top 10 players in the league. And to have them back here in Smithfield is going to really pay big time dividends for us.
Absolutely. With Keegan, obviously, we kind of knew, he mentioned it during the season, and you had mentioned as well that, he had to kind of get back into, that basketball playing shape and getting used to kind of those minutes again. We saw that really kind of, happen, especially in that second half of the conference slate. He really took off and was tremendous for you guys. Just, for you guys, besides just getting the legs under him, I guess, for a sense, what was the, I guess, the big improvement that you saw in his game as the season progressed?
Yeah, I mean, I've always believed so much in his skill. I think the guy that can shoot the ball from the outside the way he's capable of doing it and able to play on the inside like that, it was just great watching his confidence grow, watching him. I mean, he basically at the end of the season scored 16 points every single night out in a lot of different ways and being super versatile, and excited about being able to add a player beside him that can maybe do the same thing. And I think that gives us a chance to go into the non-conference and play well. But again, using him as a central piece, a guy who's unselfish, who believes in the team first, who's want to do whatever it takes for the team to be at its very best. I mean, just the kind of guy you want to be around. And it's great to watch him, really excel.
Absolutely. And I think that, he was absolutely phenomenal in that second half of the season. For you, Coach, obviously, I know that, in your first off season coming over, I know you were, finishing things out with Trieste, coming over here and having some assistance handle some things. How has it been, I guess, with the start of this first off season, here in Smithfield, kind of getting the run of show and kind of going through that?
Yeah, I think number one, I think, I thought we put together a decent roster. The Jay Young not getting that waiver for the extra year really hurt us. I mean, we were really counting on that with that experience in the backcourt, and we felt like that was going to be the piece that kind of tied it all together. So, we're disappointed we weren't able to get that. But I think it's just like you're learning as you're kind of going along. Now you're stepping into the second off season really, and just knowing what American East play looks like, what the very best teams have, what the very best teams don't have, what kind of style of play, you need to have and stuff like that. So just having a chance to kind of learn that stuff and get your feet wet under it and, really getting smacked in the face with, I think is going to be a big time benefit for us. Now, if we're able to do a really good job in retaining our guys, we're going to have, 5 to 8 players who've been through it before and that kind of understand it. I think that's a huge benefit for us. And, when you look at that Vermont team or you look at that UMBC team, or the NJIT team, even Maine at some points, like, their best players are their most experienced players that just came back for another year. So, us being able to retain that's going to be big.
Absolutely. I was about to say, obviously, the league in general, for NJIT, for example, they were probably the team in the league that was able to retain the most of their talent. And you saw a jump like that happen. So, absolutely. There really is kind of that kind of proof of concept there. As we look ahead, speaking broader view right now, we have the NCAA tournament going on right now. I know you had your experiences there with your head coach at Mount. I guess for, maybe some coaches, players that are going through this kind of experience right now for the first time, what would be a piece of advice that you would give them, that you would I guess you would have wished you would have known, your first time in?
Good, really good. That's a really solid question. I think number one, the more physical team is going to have a chance to win. Number one. Number two, I say the team that can settle in the most. What people don't realize, and obviously Bryant fans experienced it last year, it's such a different experience because it's the first time since November you're playing at a neutral site. And in particular, when you're when you're a higher seed playing against a lower seed, that arena turns to your favor when you can kind of get it there with about 12 minutes into the second half. So it's all about playing that first 28 minutes and getting it there close enough and letting that arena kind of turn in your favor, because then you not only have your fans who are going to be there, but you have the fans of the game of the next game kind of rooting for you. And that energy really changes the feel of the building. So just that ability to kind of, again, you got to be a tough team to be there, but then to be able to get there and sort of like understand that like this energy is going to change in your favor if you can just kind of hang tough right there. And, it's a super fun experience. It goes so fast. It's like, you're celebrating on Selection Sunday and then you're playing a game right after it. So you just got to really be able to be prepared for it. But, trying to find a way in the moment when it ends to really enjoy it and take a deep breath and take it all in because it goes so quick and it's an opportunity of a lifetime. Not everybody that plays college basketball gets a chance to do it.
Absolutely. And I guess before we go, I would say this, for yourself, getting a chance when, growing up, watching these games, kind of, being a fan of it, early on, what would be, I guess, some early memories that, really kind of have resonated with you, and maybe kind of really gave you this love for the game of basketball?
Christian Leitner shot. It's what, I've only really sat down and watched 3 or 4 sporting events with my dad. My dad's a pretty active guy, doesn't watch a ton of sports. And I remember sitting there watching that incredible Duke Kentucky game. It's just one of the greatest games that you could have ever watched. And watching Duke just battle their way back in there. And I was a huge Duke fan growing up. And watching Christian Leitner make that shot, that's really one of the biggest moments. And then obviously Chris Jenkins, the Euro flip behind, with Jay Wright staying stone cold. I remember that because, what people don't realize with Villanova and Jay Wright was there's this whole progression, where they were close and then they were off of it so far and probably for 6 or 7 years. And then that group kind of figured it out. And I think people had started kind of giving up on Jay Wright and whether or not he could get him over the hump. And then all of a sudden they become one of those dominant programs in the country. And, and so when you understand the history of college basketball, you understand the history of these programs, these coaches, that Chris Jenkins shot was more than just, a championship win for Villanova. It was also a stamp of Jay Wright in saying that, no, he was the right guy. We just need to stick with him a little bit longer. And I'm pretty sure Villanova fans are pretty happy that they did.
I was about to say that I can probably tell you they were probably pretty happy with that. Obviously, I was about to say it's the best time of the year. I remember, being in, middle school, high school, watching the games, on your tablets, on the big screens in the classroom. So a ton of fun memories from that. It's the best time of the year. So, Coach, we wish you guys the best of luck in this offseason. We can't wait to talk with you guys some more as we get into it. So we will talk with you real soon, and we appreciate you for coming back on.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Excited to build this roster, get us back to championship level. Go Dogs.
Absolutely. Go Dogs, Coach. Take care. All right, that was head men's basketball coach Jamion Christian joining us here on the program. Obviously, glad to get chat with Coach Christian as we begin this offseason. I think it's going to be a very interesting one in Smithfield. Obviously, the fact that you're getting returners back is huge, but I think that we're going to see maybe some more moves in the portal potentially. I think that we've seen some talk about the freshman class that Coach Christian is bringing in, so it's going to be an exciting offseason, I would say. But I will say this. The America East last year, going into this past year, got decimated by the portal. I think about only 30% of the league in general returned. And I'm pretty sure NJIT was the most experienced team of totality. They had the most guys returning in general. And you saw that jump. They became a 3 seed in the conference after being, almost like a 7-8 seed basically every year and kind of being towards the bottom of the league. And they were able to take that maturity and make a jump. And I think for Bryant, as we were kind of saying, that's a proof of concept that, you can do that in a year span. It really is possible. And I think that, just knowing what this gauntlet looks like for guys like Keegan Harvey or Ty Tabalas, that's going to help them tremendously going into next year. So I'm really excited about that. Can't wait to see what happens next with this program. And obviously, with it being March Madness, a ton of fun things there. But listen, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. When we're back, we're going to be joined with Kaelynn O'Brien of the Bryant women's lacrosse team. Don't go anywhere. It's 990 WBOB. Welcome back to the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour on 990 WBOB. Kostiw and Carvalho with you here on Monday night. We just had Coach Jamion Christian of the Bryant men's basketball team joining us. It was great to talk with him. We're about to be joined by our next guest of the evening, but before we do, we just want to let you know that they are brought to you by the Sprout Co-working phone lines. For all your co-working needs, large or small, visit sproutcoworking.com. Now joining us on the hotline is Bryant women's lacrosse player Kaelynn O'Brien. Kaelynn, welcome to the program. How are you doing tonight?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely. Doing great, Kaelynn. Obviously, it's back-to-back Defensive Player of the Weeks for you for this season. It's been an incredible start to this year for you. I guess just, let's get your opening thoughts just on, everything, kind of, how this season's been going.
Yeah, we obviously started off pretty strong. We've had a few wins. We really worked well together from start of the season to now, and I think everyone just has been putting in the work, and it's really been translating on the field, on and off the field. Honestly, we have really great chemistry, and I think with these awards, I think it is a whole entire dynamic on defense that it's not just one person on D. It's kind of like all of us just working together. And I think these awards also show how hard my other teammates on D work as well. And yeah, it's super exciting.
Absolutely, and for you, this isn't something that's come out of nowhere. You were obviously a crucial piece of that Bryant team that made their run to the championship game last year, and you've continued that into this year. I guess just what has been the key for your consistency and just really having that, from year in and year out.
Yeah, I think it's really a big mindset to have. I think it takes a lot to believe in yourself, and I try to really work hard with the mental aspect of it all because there is a lot of self-doubt, and I think going off of that like winning season and just having a really good season my sophomore year, I think going into this it was sort of stressful, but ultimately it's just been working in my favor. I think I've been really working hard with like my mental game and just feeding off of my other teammates and knowing that it's just a game and it's supposed to be fun and not worrying about like all those other accolades and like everything like that. And I think it has been working. So I hope it just continues just to have fun and play really well with my teammates.
Yeah, I was about to say it's an aspect of the game that I don't think really gets talked about and really is mentioned enough. But that is the mental component of it. For you guys, I guess having that mentality and just remaining calm in certain moments, like how have you kind of I guess built that up over the years, or what have you kind of learned to kind of keep yourself calm in those moments? Like what has been I guess some of the key points there.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty veteran group. So a lot of us have been through like these high pressure situations, and we always start off every practice and every game with a breathing with our entire team. Coach Eileen runs it, and I think that honestly helps a lot. It just grounds us from the start to the game, and then sometimes, if pressure arises, we will take a break. We'll call a timeout, just take a breath and like just get present, be grounded, and I think that really helps us. So just knowing that to be present really helps us.
Absolutely. Obviously, this year, you guys are currently 6-3 on the year. You won your first conference game against Vermont with an 8-7 victory at home. Obviously, starting off the conference late on a great footing is it's great to see from you guys. Just talk about what really kind of went well for you guys and some points of success for you guys in that win.
Honestly, it really started off the week strong on Monday. Leading up to the conference game, we knew Vermont's a very good team. We knew they were going to be top in our conference, and I think last year we lost our first conference game, so I think we wanted to start off really strong because going off a loss into wanting to completely start off good is not good. So I think just that Monday practice, it really, really honed down on the little things. And with Scout D, Scout O, we all worked really hard. Scout offense, Scout defense, we all put in the work on both sides, starters and the bench players. And we just really worked hard all together. And I think it just led up to this win versus Vermont.
Absolutely. You guys are preparing for an in-state rival matchup with Brown tomorrow. I know it's these midweek matchups are always crazy. We'll talk about the game in just a second, but obviously, down, like I know women's lacrosse it's a bit more common that you have it, but maybe just like how that kind of affects your schedule when you don't have like a week's worth of turnaround time, like getting ready for a game on short notice immediately, following another.
Yeah, we are kind of used to it by now, but it is very hard. We don't have an off day after a game. Like we had practice on Sunday, we practiced today, we had Scout O, Scout D. It is a lot, but I think our coaches make it really fun. Like it's a really fun experience. It's not like a drag to go to practice. We had dinner last night as a team, and I think like those little things really make up for it. And we do truly love the process. So honing down that we need to have those practices and need to be locked in, even if it's a Sunday, I think that really just leads us to winning on Tuesday, knock on wood. But I think we all very care about every single game. And I think that it will just lead up to a win. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. With it, being at Brown, just the game itself, just I guess, what are some points of emphasis, keys to the game that you guys are looking to attack in that one?
So we know that Brown is a very scrappy team. It's gonna probably be a bloodbath, but we like that. We are a very good team. So I think just knowing that we have the potential to stay with them and this is our year that I know that we could beat them. So I think just going into it, being in a positive mindset, all of us want it really bad. We want the cup, the trophy that comes with it. So, and like we've been there a couple times. We know the campus. We know some of the girls on their team. So I think it'll just be very fun and overall. So just knowing that, I'm very excited, and I know my teammates are too.
Yeah, and then following the Brown game, obviously, I don't want you guys to don't want to get ahead of things, but obviously, following that, you guys have over 11. You guys have 11 days off before your next match against UMass Lowell. I know that we were just talking about kind of short notice and things like that, but getting a chance to have some time off to really prepare for your next conference opponent, just I guess just the value that kind of comes with something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, yeah, it is good for a break of our legs. We've been going honestly, since January. So I think the time off will be good, and it's just a little reset. And I think everyone needs a reset sometimes. So I am very excited that we do have that time off, but we're never missing a day of work. So I know that everyone will still continue working hard, even if we're off.
Yeah. With that kind of time off, does the coaching staff just try to treat like the preparation as normal and let you guys have that extra time off to rest and prepare, or does it act as kind of like extra time for you guys to get film on the opponent, things like that? How do you guys kind of approach it, when that's going on?
Yeah, so our coach actually did give us a couple days off. She gave us Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So she's letting us go home if we want. She's letting us stay here. She gave us the option to do whatever, and I think that's very great because some of us do need a reset and need to just go home, see our families, and just take some time off from our bodies. But I think we also are honing down, like, you need to bring your stick home. You need to keep working hard, even if it's just like 3 or 4 days off, because other teams are still working at it, and they have that game, they don't have a bye, but everyone gets a bye, so we are taking advantage of it, definitely.
Absolutely. We were mentioning it at the start of the segment, but the fact that you guys, made that run to the championship game last year, I know obviously came up just short, but having that experience and getting there and just now bringing it into this season and with a large returning group at that, just talk about how much that has really fueled you guys in this group.
Yeah, I think knowing that we have so much potential this year, we did lose a couple good key players last year, but going into this year in the fall, September, we knew that we were a championship team. And I think knowing that we could get there makes it even 10 times better because it made this Vermont game even more powerful because we knew we had to win the first conference game last year. We didn't really think, like, oh, we could host. I wasn't thinking that we could host America East. Like, that just wasn't in my thoughts as a sophomore because we'd never done that. But now that we've done that, we know that we could host, we could win the America East. So I think just knowing that really has fueled us. And yeah, it's very exciting.
Absolutely. Well, Kaelynn, we wish you guys the best of luck against Brown and throughout the rest of the season. We look forward to talking with you again soon. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Take care, Kaelynn.
See ya.
All right, that was Kaelynn O'Brien of the Bryant women's lacrosse team. It was great talking with Kaelynn, obviously, as they prepare for that in-state rivalry match with Brown. That'll be happening Tuesday night at 7:30 on ESPN+. So make sure to tune in and watch them. They've been an amazing team, for the past 2 years, and, Coach Ferry has done a great job with this group. I mean, they are very locked in, and, they have the caliber, I think, to really make a run in the America East this year. Obviously, UAlbany is going to be a team that's going to be one to watch in the league there, perennially in that kind of run. UMass Lowell can always make things interesting, and Vermont, who they got the win over, it wasn't an easy win by any margin. 8-7, very close there. So we'll have to see how it all pans out. But really looking forward to seeing what this team can do down the stretch. I think that they're in a good position as we kind of go throughout the season. But Matt, before we go, I just wanted to say that coming up next, we're going to have Aidan Vining of the Bryant baseball team to talk about their recent success and their series win over Binghamton this past weekend. So stay with us. We'll be back for our final segment on 990 WBOB. Welcome back to the final segment of the Bryant Bulldog Sports Hour on 990 WBOB. Brian Kostiw, Matt Carvalho, closing it out here with you guys. Before we get to our final guest of the evening, we just want to tell you guys to join the Bryant the Bryant Bulldogs and the WBOB team this spring. Watching Bryant men's and women's lacrosse at Burns Stadium. Single game tickets are now available at BryantTickets.com. For more on the Bulldogs, listen right here to Bryant to 990 WBOB. Now joining us for our final segment of the night is Aidan Vining of the Bryant baseball team. Aidan, welcome to the show. Glad to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Aidan. Obviously, congratulations on the series win over Binghamton this past weekend. It was great to see you guys out there. Obviously at Conity, just being back outside there is great, but getting some dubs there too is awesome. We'll kind of just start there with your opening thoughts.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I know like half the team is new this year, but like getting in on that rivalry, I know we lost to them in the championship last year, but I was happy to be a part of it and help the guys that were here last year get a win at home,
Yeah, I was about to say, you performed incredibly well in that game. You had over 4 innings of scoreless relief pitching in one of the wins there. So great to see from that. For yourself, I guess we'll kind of just start with your performance in there. Just, you just getting the chance to come on and, be thrown right into the middle of that rivalry, just how you guys were able to execute. And
Yeah, so, I came in with the bases loaded and I've always been a starter in the past. So like usually if the bases are loaded, it's my fault. But when I come in that situation, I was just thinking to myself, like, I'm going to pretend like no one's on base, just pitch, or pretend like it's a new game, just pitch to the glove and see what happens from there.
Yeah, 100%. It was great to see that kind of an outing from you guys there. Obviously, with this being your first year here in Smithfield, you're coming over from Johnson, Wales. For yourself, just what kind of went into the process of, when you entered the portal, what really, I guess, stood out with Bryant when you were making that decision?
Well, the main thing was they actually reached out to me right away, and being wanted was something I really wanted to have. Like, I didn't want to be pursuing schools that didn't really want me, but they reached out to me right away. Great coaching staff, like they were all in on me. They really wanted me to come and then help my whole process. And then obviously the school itself is amazing. It looks like I remember walking in, doing my tour, and I'm like, this is like a country club. Like it's so beautiful here, and I just it just felt it in my heart that I had to come here.
I was about to say it especially the baseball facilities there. It's top notch, especially for the Northeast. It's incredible to see. For you guys, just having the chance to be, back outside. I know it was your first time, playing at Conity, a couple weeks ago as, actually as a Bulldog and getting that experience. But just the fact to be on your own home turf, how special that was for you guys.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Like we were kind of on the road for a while. Like we got stuck down in Clemson with the blizzard a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So it was kind of a little rough patch of just eating out every day and you're on the bus and long days like that. So it's nice to be able to sleep in your own bed and eat some home cooked meals too. So it's a little bit of a home field advantage there.
100%. When you did come over and, coming from going up to playing Division I ball, just for yourself, what was kind of that, that challenge and, how did you really attack it when, presented with it?
Well, I didn't want to think it'd be any different because at the end of the day, it's still the same game, still the same dimensions of the field. Just the players are just this much, just a little bit better. You know what I mean? I just had to tell myself that it's the same game. I don't have anything to worry about. I'll fit right in. I met all the guys and I got along great with them. It wasn't a huge change for me, honestly, but I know some people might struggle with it. So.
Absolutely. I mean, across all levels, you've had an incredible success. You're the active strikeout leader in all of college baseball. So it's incredibly impressive to see what that has looked like for you. I guess just, how have you been able to kind of, I guess, manage success? How has that kind of been for you? Just kind of, maybe whether it's not getting too high, too low, just being able to be consistent day in and day out.
Well, coach has always said, just be you. I like to have fun and when you I don't like to look at any of the numbers and stuff because I feel like that puts too much pressure on yourself. And
sure,
when you have just keep having fun, the game kind of just handles itself for you. You don't have to put too much pressure on yourself. Just remember it's a game at the end of the day and why you're doing it. And I just pretty much just have fun. That's what I like to do and play baseball. Simple as that.
Absolutely. For you guys, obviously joining a new team, there's always a lot of things that come into that, but it's like meshing with the guys and kind of getting a feel for the team like that. How was that kind of experience, being in one place for a long time and kind of starting over in a sense and, getting to meet a whole new crew of people in college. Just what was that kind of experience like and how, what was it, I guess, getting welcomed in and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was pretty seamless for me. I mean, I'm pretty introverted myself, where like I won't go out a ton and hang out, but like we all bond over baseball. Like I'm with the guys all
Yeah.
day long at practice, and we all just hang out, have the best conversations. We're all eating lunch and dinner together after practices. Like you basically just get merged in, even like not on purpose. Like you just get grouped in with them, and it's awesome. Like the camaraderie we have is awesome.
Absolutely. I was about to say it's a really special group up there. So, and you talked about the coaching staff and all that stuff as
Yeah.
well. I guess for you guys, as you head down this next stretch of the season, and you guys kind of look at what's up next. You guys have Holy Cross tomorrow. You have Dartmouth Wednesday, and then a weekend series with Sacred Heart. As you guys just kind of prepare for everything with that, and some non-conference play coming up, after a conference series, is it attacked in a different way? How do you guys, I guess, just go out and, stay, on, kind of have that same goal and try to be consistent, I guess?
Yeah, obviously I don't think we're going to change any. We're going to have the same approaches. We just want to go out and win. Like our pitching
Yeah.
coach will have the same goals for us, like all our pitching goals, like first pitch strikes and stuff like that. Like we're not going to change our approach or anything. We know what the best way to win is, and we're going to keep attacking that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Aidan, we wish you guys the best of luck in this upcoming stretch. We'll talk to you real soon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Take care, Aidan. All right, that was Aidan Vining of the Bryant baseball team with us here tonight. Glad to get the chance to talk with Aidan there. Obviously, an interesting stretch for them after the Binghamton series. They're going to be playing some non-conference ball coming up. So, a little obviously they want to keep things consistent and be, relatively the same with that. But it does kind of present a new element as we kind of go into it. So I'll be looking forward to seeing what they do here. I think, they're in a good stretch right here with, these groups of teams coming up. But yeah, I think once you get back into America East play on, the 27th and the 27th and later in the month, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I think NJIT is it's a good program for baseball there, and I think they'll give you a good battle. And then, your first real road test of America East play will come April 2nd and April through April 4th when you go up to Maine. So you're going to be facing some good teams over the next stretch or so, and we look forward to seeing how they do there. But Matt, before we go, any lasting thoughts from you before we sign off?
Well, Brian, I mean, with the few minutes we have left till we get to the end of the program at 8:57, we're doing good.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say, just any takeaways from any of our guests tonight that kind of have stuck out to you, I'd say.
I mean, just going off of the last one, I'm just glad baseball's back.
Me too, man.
That's really it. I'm just glad we're back to the diamond and back to baseball. And I know everyone's just waiting for, the major leagues and whatnot in April and whatnot. And as great as that is, college baseball started last month.
Yeah.
And we can jump right on that train.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and that goes all the way through June with the the College World Series and everything like that. It's a great, as someone who has grown up loving baseball and follows it, as one of my favorite sports. I get up for it all the time. I love to see it. So it'll be a ton of fun to kind of see what happens with that next. But yeah, I mean, just I will say this, watching baseball at Conedy Park is a really fun thing. I love it. It's so much fun to watch them. And at Park, it's just a perfect vibe. You're right there in the woods. When the sun's setting there, those late afternoon, evening games, it's a really cool atmosphere to be a part of. I definitely need to get out to a game there before their season ends. It's a really special place to watch a ball game. Kind of an intimate kind of, area out there. It's really cool. Like, being in that press box with a bunch of people up there that are really good in that program. So miss that a ton. Hope to get a chance to be back out there hopefully soon. But, Matt, I know we're close to the sign-off period. We talked with Coach Jamion Christian to begin the show and, what's going to be next for him. I think that, again, this will be an interesting offseason. I think that you're going to see maybe some more activity in the portal. And, we had talked about this off the air, Matt, where, a lot of the portal additions for Coach Christian really hit this offseason, whether it was Keegan Harvey or Quincy Allen. Those guys really came into this program and, put up big numbers during their time on the floor. I know Quincy was obviously dealing with some injuries at times, and that kind of kept him off. But I think when you saw those guys out there, they were really contributing and really able to hit home there. So I think, that's kind of what this level of, a college program is like for college basketball. Essentially, you're looking for those players that are maybe getting underlooked or not as utilized as at other institutions, and really taking advantage of them. I think that when you looked at Earl Timberlake when he came in from Memphis, or even Barry Evans when he came in from a St. Bonaventure and came here and won a title with this team, it's finding those guys that can really get a new life, a new spark under them, and really take off once that season starts. And I think that you saw that with Keegan, you saw it in spurts with Quincy when he was healthy. And I think that if you can get similar players like that can be dynamic, that can make big time plays, I think you're going to see Bryant basketball in a really interesting spot next year. I really do. But Matt, I guess before we kind of go, I know you have a March Madness preview show coming up tomorrow. Anything you want to just say about that on this program?
Oh, that's right, Brian. I appreciate you giving me that moment. For anyone listening that loves some college basketball, tune in to the 990 WBOB March Madness special tomorrow. Will feature myself and Tom Harkness, who's sitting there laughing at his phone right now. And we will be on for, count it, 8 hours tomorrow, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. And we will have many different coaches that will be in the tournament and analysis and all of it. We'll have plenty of them tomorrow night.
Matt, did Tom know this was going to be a full 8 hours, or did you coax him into this? Or how did that kind of come about?
Tom?
Well, Brian, I am here. I was looking at my phone. I was laughing at my phone, but if I'm going to be dragged into this, then I might as well have a say.
All right.
Yeah. No, Matt prefaced that it's going to be 8 hours. I don't know if I'll be here for the full 8.
I will.
Matt will.
I will.
Matt will. Yeah.
I made it as a joke like 2 months ago, and I stuck by it.
And he actually stuck by it. But we have some great coaches, like you said. We have some great analysts. Brian, if you want to make the drive down, we'll have plenty of time. I mean, seriously.
I was about to say, I don't know if I can make the drive down, but maybe I try to zoom in like we're doing right here. So
Yeah.
We'll see how it kind of goes. But guys, I really appreciate it. Definitely give that a listen tomorrow live on 990wbob.com. So hopefully you guys all tune in and listen to that tomorrow. So that's going to be a great show. But Matt, we're going to sign off here, and we will see you guys next week from 990 WBOB. I'm Brian Kostiw along with Matt Carvalho. We will see you guys real soon.